In this video, I want to combine the information that we talked about in the last two videos, and I want to make just a simple chart that gives us information about what we can tell about a graph based on the behavior of its first derivative and its second derivative. So here is a form that I will link in Schoology so that you can have your own copy of it, or you can just, it's a simple form, you can just make it yourself from a sheet of paper. And I recommend that you have this filled out and either tape it up on your wall or have it in a really accessible place in your notebook, because this is going to help us to solve problems for the next couple units. And eventually, I think or hope that you are going to be able to just kind of memorize this information. But it's going to be able to tell us, what does it mean when we have a function and the first derivative is positive, negative, or zero? And the same thing for the second derivative, because these are all things that we've seen in the first two videos of this unit. All right, so we saw that when the first derivative was positive, this is saying that it's a positive slope. And so a positive slope is talking about a function that is increasing. And the same thing, except in opposite, is when the first derivative is negative. That means the slope is negative, and we're used from Algebra 1, a negative slope means it's a function that is decreasing. Its value is decreasing as the input is increasing. And when the first derivative is zero, again, I'm going to put off more complicated discussions about this, but we will call it a critical point. And then afterwards in parentheses, I will say maximum, minimum, because sometimes it'll be one or the other. Sometimes, as we'll see, the first derivative will be zero and it won't be a maximum or a minimum. But it's something that we'll want to look at to see if it's a maximum or a minimum. So that's what we mean by saying that it's a critical point. It's something that we will want to study when we're looking for maximums and minimums. And when the second derivative is positive, and maybe I'll draw some pictures here. So an increasing function looks like that. A decreasing function looks like that. A critical point might look like that, or might look like that. Okay, a second derivative is positive. That means that the function is concave up. All right, and remember, concave up kind of looks like this. So it's a cup that is upside right. And a negative second derivative talks about where the function is concave down, which means it's going to look roughly like an upside down cup. And a second derivative is zero means that it's maybe, but maybe not, switching back and forth between concave up and concave down. And our vocabulary term for that is that that will be called an inflection point. Okay, so just want to do a quick video so that you could have a sheet like this talking about increasing, decreasing, concave up, concave down, critical points and inflection points, but being able to tie it to what it says about the first and second derivative. So this is going to be a really handy reference sheet, because you might see, you might see a problem where somebody describes a function and they say, over what interval is this function decreasing? And you're going to go decreasing. Okay, that's talking about the first derivative being negative. And you're going to be able to tie the vocabulary term to what you need to examine about the derivatives. We'll see how in the next video.